Hello? Joe's Barn Grill, Rufus speaking. Welcome back, articulators. This week I've got a little different of an episode for you guys, just because I had my own flesh and blood on here, Patrick Bolger. He is he's an assistant general manager, at the AC in Cincinnati, and currently the reason I got him to be on the podcast is because he actually was the AGM at this hotel that I work in Athens for a while, and he's back now just because the GM is gone for a certain amount of time for a leave, and they need help smoothing some things over. So, yeah, he's here hanging out, and which is always great because he was here all last year and we had a great time, and we get along really well. And I think it's apparent in this episode. I think you can tell we have a good chemistry. We do have like a certain. That's why it's a little different, is because we kind of, growing up with somebody, you kind of have a certain back and forth with that person. You know, it's like you just kind of fall back into like the pattern of me being the younger brother, him being the older brother kind of thing. And I think it's pretty apparent. And if not, maybe it's just in my head. But the topics we talk about kind of steer towards, advice and maturing and just stuff we've always kind of talked about. And I mean, we're just, that's just who we are, and especially who he is. Yeah, he actually wanted to do the interview still in his work suit. So I went and picked him up from the hotel and brought him back here. And it was just so weird because he's like a 27-year-old man in a suit sitting down in my messy-ass college room. But yeah, so he's always like kind of on go. And I don't know, just as he likes to say, he works hard and he plays hard, he and his friends have this like vocabulary and like dialect that they all made up with their own references. You'll hear some of them throughout the episode. And I actually just keep recommending. He really needs to like write just a book of like translations just for all his friends and family. I think that'd be funny, but we get along really well, and I kind of catch on to his whole vocab pretty well just since I've known him for a while, and for my whole life. But yeah, enjoy this episode. He's a cool guy. All right, Patch, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Borlan. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm excited to have like a family member on the podcast.
First family member?
Yeah, well, yeah, I haven't had dad or mom or Delaney or anybody. I've actually thought about, what would you think about having a podcast with Dad on here?
Dad?
Because I do talk about him quite a bit,
You do talk about him quite a bit. Dad, I tell you, he's a goober.
He is a goober. He'd have some. Like I said, he could fill up the whole hour with one joke.
One joke would take him forever.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think the individuals would miss would be the hand gestures, right? I think that's half of the joke.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. He is an animated individual.
He is.
Yeah.
Much like you and I.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Just alligators. Mm-hmm. It's a family full of crocs.
Just alligators.
Yeah, man. So Patrick is out in Athens currently. And this is why we're able to do this, which I'm excited that you're out here, man.
Back in Athens, baby. Back in action.
But something that we share actually is we both work at the same hotel, and we both are not the biggest fans of Athens. It is just it
is a wonderful city full of wonderful people that I cannot wait to
leave.
Wait to escape.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, no, that's just been something that's like a constant. I don't know. For me, like I said, so I don't know. Most of the listeners, I think, know this, but I am graduating this spring, and I'm doing a little internship in New York, and I'm just really excited. I've heard of.
Have you already figured out your internship?
So yesterday was first day of school, and my professor's setting it up, and so I talked to him yesterday, and he messaged the dude last night, and he owns he's at corporate for a lower level, 5 napkins restaurant place. So talk about a restaurant manager job. Mm-hmm. I'll probably be internshipping at that, something like that.
Yeah.
In New York, which will be awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. So what do you want to do ultimately? I know And I'm sure everybody who listens to this already knows exactly what you want to do, right? And that's a dream.
Right.
Never give up on your dream.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to start somewhere.
So that's something that I wanted to get into with you, because you're kind of on the other side of things already, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, something that I'm a little nervous about is, say, I mean, obviously it's a good reason to be nervous, I'd say.
Yeah.
But going up there and first of all finding out that I'm not good at like what I want to do, which probably is, there's a high possibility. But also going up there and finding out, I don't know, everybody says that like entertainment industry is the most competitive of all of the industries.
Well, who says that?
I mean, it's just something that I've heard a lot of people. I mean, a lot of older. I don't know. It just seems like a kind of a stigma about the entertainment industry.
Well, I don't know much about the entertainment industry, but what I could tell you, a little bit of advice is, I've been graduated from college for about 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know.
5, 6, 7, 8,
9, 10. Well, hear me
11.
out. 11. Right, hear me out.
Anyway.
But what I can tell you is, man, we, as young professionals, if I can still consider myself as a young professional, man, when I graduated college, I had absolutely no idea what the fuck I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I really didn't have a direction. Yeah, I was working in hotels, and
luckily, it was just like a flip of the coin.
It was just like a flip of the coin.
How'd you get the first hotel job, by the way?
The first hotel job, I was a junior in college, so literally as you were about to graduate, at the beginning of this year. No, I'm sorry, it might have been the turn of the semester into...
So like right now?
Right now, where you're at in life, I still didn't have a fucking major declared.
Oof.
Right? You want to talk about a degenerate with no... you have no idea what you want to do, man. Right? You have no idea.
And I think a lot of people my age can relate to that.
Yeah.
Because
fuck, man.
Literally, I am a junior right now, like you're saying. Luckily, I have something, but I think a lot of the listeners...
Yeah, I think you definitely took the initiative in high school to be able to put yourself into a position where you can graduate.
Dude, I just did that because I didn't want to go to the high school anymore.
Hey, heard that, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even at 21 years of age, I had no idea what I wanted to do, right? And, through some friends of family, I went to Columbus and I visited...
Yeah, so we got new neighbors. They always come in blasting.
Slap of the bass.
Slap of the bass, man.
Slap of the bass.
Yeah.
Bumping subwoofers.
Yeah.
But...
Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
But... So... It was really cool. It was really cool to even just start in the hotel industry, right? Everybody, most people going through high school, going through college, you work in service industry jobs, right? You're serving tables, bussing, dishwashing, line cook, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Dude, dishwashing is the worst, man.
No, I don't mind it, man.
Really?
It's fucking therapeutic. It's easy.
Yeah.
You don't have to think.
It's all
right?
smelly, though.
It's all 6s and 7s, man. But, in college, I went through an interview process with a hotel. I needed a separate job. I needed some sort of direction. It just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't the most glamorous job at all.
Right.
And I worked at the front desk for 2.5 years. It took me 5 years to graduate college.
Nice.
5 years.
Victory lap. That's what I don't know.
Took a victory lap. It was fun.
Yeah.
Me and Logan, we took a 5th year. And...
was that 5th year hard for you? I don't know. I know a lot of, Evan is going for another year.
Yeah.
He's going for another year, and a lot of his friends are graduating, though. You know what I mean? Did a lot of people
No, I mean, for me, I was kind of fortunate because Logan's younger brother, Bronson, he was a sophomore in college, so they just moved into the house that we were living in, nice. And it was we were just the dads. Logan and I were the old guys, right?
Yeah. And that's when you took on the daddy persona.
The daddy persona, it is a serious persona. But going back into the professional, just to kind of aspect of the whole thing, it was really cool. I'll still tell you that after I figured out what I wanted to do, I set a 10-year goal, right? I set a 10-year goal.
A lot of people. That's something else I've heard a lot of people say is if you make a 5-year decision or a goal or somewhere, you have something in your mind, and plan the steps to get there. Like, you'll probably get there one way or another, or something else will happen that makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, goals are super important in life, in anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, even just little goals keep you from thinking about, suicide or whatever, like, just like...
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
really got away from
just like, just the bullshit of daily life kind of thing, I guess.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, like, if you wake up in the morning, and, like, you love to work out, right? So instead of waking up and laying in bed for, like, 2 hours and they just thinking and, like, looking at all these people on social media and envying or just being like, what am I going to do today? Am I just going to watch TV again or whatever? You get up and you're like, well, I got to go to the gym, so I'll just get that. That's just a small time goal there, and it adds on to the bigger goal of you wanting to get.
Sure. I mean, I think health is extremely important, right? So, I want to be healthy. That's a constant goal, right?
Right.
That's a constant goal, and yeah, man, I could sit here and tell you that I want to be super shredded and I want to, be super buff, whatever it is. Yeah. Washboard abs and the whole thing. But as we're sitting over here having a couple of beers, I'm telling the ultimate goal, I guess, is not to be that way, but it's more just to be healthy.
Yeah, right? Well, and like I said, waking up in the morning and having a goal, so that in itself is healthy.
And it's very satisfying, too. It is extremely satisfying to wake up, go to the gym. It fucking sucks, right? It fucking sucks to get up and go to the gym.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it.
No, I mean, there's that huge mental block. And everyone...
Cheez-Its. It smells Cheez-Its.
But everyone, they feel the exact same way. I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to. I mean, I have workout partners that we go in. Man, half the time... You try and skip it, yet the other person holds you accountable. But the best part about it is once you finish it and once you accomplish that goal. That is the most satisfying feeling. When you walk out after a morning workout or an evening workout, afternoon, whatever the hell it is, after you complete a workout and you leave the gym, there's endorphins. It's a real fucking thing. There's endorphins that release in your brain because you had just completed something physically.
Yeah,
right?
I actually got those one time.
One time. I believe in you. You'll get there.
It was once.
But then, coming full circle to the goal and the career, and into your career, coming full circle, every time you achieve that goal, there is a sense of endorphins that get released, right? I mean, there is a sense of pride that, like, fuck, man, I put this goal on myself 10 years ago to achieve where I am, right? And I'll tell you, I'm super close to achieving.
That's what you were talking about. You were talking about your 10-year plan.
Yeah, and I'm super close to achieving my 10-year goal.
That's awesome. So what was it?
Of being a general manager of a hotel.
Did you decide
that was a career goal, right? And not everybody might not conceptualize, but whoever listens to the podcast, and yourself, and it doesn't really matter, but I think the most important thing, somebody who feels lost graduating college, about to graduate college, you don't necessarily know what you have to do, because I'm going to tell you, after I'm a general manager, fuck working in hotels after a couple of years, right? But I'm not deviating from that goal, right? Because I set a goal for myself.
Yeah, and I don't know, and while, I don't know, the work in itself, you found, it may not have been fulfilling at first, but you found fulfillment through it, right? And and like you said, it through achieving that goal that you set in its own way fulfills you as well. Right. But, at some point, if you have the goal and where you are now, making the amount of money you can, I mean, even in a few years, if you wanted to switch to something that made you
100%.
You 100%, yeah, you
100%.
You could because you've done this far.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think a large kind of thing to overcome in life is to actually get a degree, right?
Yeah.
Being able to be disciplined enough to wake up and go to classes, not drink your ass off every night. You can still drink your ass off every night. But to make sure you get there for the exams, make sure you study for the exams, put yourself through college, right?
Right.
Financially understanding how to manage your money. Some people are very extremely fortunate not to have to worry about money, not just in life, but through college and whatever it is. And I think college is an awesome, awesome opportunity for individuals to kind of segue from, childhood into adulthood.
Yeah,
right?
It gives you that little bubble, that area where it's not, you're not living with your parents, you know what I mean? There are bad people around college campuses, and especially...
What do you mean bad?
Well, when I say sheltered or like bubble, you know what I mean? It's like...
Well, shelter shouldn't mean bad, right?
Yeah, not bad, but no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the outside world, like where you can get robbed, or you can like you just don't know what to expect. There's bad people out there. You know what I mean?
Oh, now I'm with you.
Yeah. So in colleges, you know, you get a little taste of that, but you're still with mostly college kids. You still have like a little bit of that innocence and whatnot, and like you know, there's campus regulations that keep people out and that sort of thing. So you know, you're going from your hometown where it's like you live with your parents, and typically you go to school and you feel safe. You just feel safe all the time and feel generally like settled. Whereas in college, in college you get a little bit of that.
You start to wean off the teat a little bit.
Wean off the teat, yes.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But then once you leave college, and that's the next stage in life,
you go to bottles,
right?
dude. Just bottles.
Just bottle. I don't know what that means.
No, we have to switch to soy milk. Like you know, like
I do like well.
Yeah, wean off the teat. Go to soy milk.
Go to soy. Straight to soy.
Anyways. But yeah, so the real life is like the real, whatever it is, the adult world. I don't know what it's like from the other side if you like see
from the other side, there's no other side. From the other side of college, after not having to go to
because I think it's well, I mean, think back to, you know, the first day after you graduated high school is kind of you're competent enough to realize, okay, I'm going into it like a new thing. This is something that I've never experienced before. You kind of know what to expect with like partying and whatnot, but like mentally, you have no idea what your brain is how it's gonna respond, right? I don't know. I at least for me, is like I didn't know people at OU. I came here just kind of like, well, I'll probably make friends, you know. I've heard it's easy. I heard it's fun.
Well, can I ask you, have you made friends?
Oh, I have made friends.
Dear friends that'll probably last for a lifetime. And others not.
I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. But my freshman year was a lot different than I was expecting. It was a lot harder. It was, and not even like the academic work, but just like I said, like the social work that you have to lay groundwork to understand how more people outside of just your like high school, more than those people think, you know what I mean? It's just a wider perspective. However, like I said, it's still a little bit sheltered. So moving on from that, going into big cities, say New York,
where you have people that aren't necessarily your age or of your demographic, or even
that's another thing is like all the people around here are just college kids.
Even college kids, you know. Yeah. Some people aren't as fortunate enough to go to college, right? Most people are, but you know, some aren't, right? And how do you relate to them, right? Because everybody's part of this population. Everybody's part of this world, right?
Yeah.
And
you know what I have found a good common factor between a lot of people? Between anybody of all ages. Alcohol. Alcohol works great.
Cheers to that.
Social lubricant, man.
Social lubricant. What a hell of a word.
I know. I was talking to a dude at the bar that he like grew up in South America and then lived in the Netherlands for like 15 years and was stopped in Athens for some reason. But he just used that word. Like he was just talking. We were just shooting the shit, talking about alcohol. Like I said, because it's a common factor across all people of all ages and nationalities, and then he's like, it's a social lubricant. And
social lubricant.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, that's a good way to describe it.
You've never heard that expression before?
I mean, it makes sense, and I feel like it's probably a common phrase.
It's a very common phrase.
But hearing it from South African dude for the first time. For the first time. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's rich. So what are you most excited for once you graduate, man? Tell me what you're most excited for.
Get the fuck out of Athens.
Get the fuck out of Athens. Yeah, well, let's move past it, man. Yeah, nothing wrong with Athens. So some people very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just not a town for me.
Or me.
Or you know. Yeah. But there are, you know, when I did move away, I will tell you, man, there were parts of Athens that I missed.
Right? That's fair. No, that's fair. Like I'm trying to appreciate. I'm trying to appreciate what I can while I'm here. But looking forward, I don't know. I was talking to Sarah yesterday, and she says she's been to New York a couple of times, and for her, she was like, "Yeah, for me, it's a little too much, just because like it's just stimulation all the time. Like it's just tiring, kind of thing. It's like it's a little too much." But you know, for me and you, like for I don't know. I guess for our family or whatever is like. That stimulation, we kind of thrive off of that, right?
Yeah, there's always constant communication. There's always constant human interaction, right? There's always constant from our family. That's how we were raised, right? But what are you most excited for about yourself? I mean, not just specifically for where you're headed to, right? New York City.
Just turning this whole thing around on me, sir. No, I was kidding.
It's like an interview.
I know. No, it's just a conversation, man. It
is just a conversation. These are just our normal conversations that we have back and forth.
So, like, what do you mean for, like, myself?
Like, what are you most excited for? Graduating college, it's a big thing, man. Do you plan on staying in New York? Right? I mean, do you plan on living there?
It's pretty expensive. I don't know if you've heard it.
It is, right?
If you've heard the news.
So what are you most excited for? Yeah, just simply to move to New York for your next year?
To just not have to, like, I don't know. I feel like school in general is, it's very, it's based on one style of teaching. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's very one-sided and, like, I don't know. One of my cool professors, actually, Tom, he's the one that's getting me the internship.
Who, Tom?
Oh, yeah, Tom Stevenson. He's a sassy gay man, and I love him.
That's rich.
He's awesome.
It's just fabulous.
He's awesome. He's great. And that's what I'm saying. He's setting, like...
That's great.
You know, that's why he knows so many people, just because he's like, oh, how are you? How's it going? Like, just talking to us. And, I don't know. He's a cool guy.
He's rich.
Yeah, so... I don't know. So today or yesterday, when I had the class with him, you know, I'm in class. I just say what's on my mind.
Holy even shit. If that'll get you in trouble, though.
No, I mean, like in you know, whatever, a joking way or whatever.
Right.
Like how I always try to. But the thing is, like, I always just try to input. I try to, like, be part of the thing that we're doing here. You know, I don't want it to be a one-sided conversation where you just talk at me. Like, I want to. First of all, take in the words, because half the kids in the classes don't nowadays, especially with all these phones and stuff that nobody's regulating.
Holy shit, technology.
Yeah, but also, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So, like, he just kind of pointed out to me is just like, it's just this, I'm excited for this leveling of the playing field in a way. You know what I mean? As opposed to people looking at me as a student. Yeah. To people looking at me as, like, a young adult in the world.
100%, man. I can remember, so after I graduated college, there was almost like a turn of the page, right? Where...
That's what I'm looking... This is the story I'm looking for.
Yeah, there was like a turn of the page where, you know, I wasn't necessarily a kid anymore. And
you're still a kid. I get that. Like, I mean,
I'm not a kid.
Well, Patch, I mean, you're 27. Compared to, like, a 40-year-old, they're gonna call you a kid. You know?
But I'll tell you, man, I can converse with a 40-year-old the same way I can converse with, like, an 18-year-old, and I see it that exact same way. I mean, that's and they don't. There's a certain point where people just don't feel older than you anymore, right? And you can kind of level with every individual, any individual.
Well, and that's not what I mean. Like, obviously, there's, like, the whole. You know, you can have repertoire with like a 40-year-old, 70-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever it is. Right. But you know, there's like, I don't know. It was not even like a big thing, but it's just like the 50-year-old is going to look at you and be like, "Oh, you're only 27 years old."
Oh, they say that. Yeah. Oh, you have so much life to live. This, that. Yeah, but they say that. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, it's more about the engaging of the conversation. It's being present, and you know. There was a certain point that it just kind of clicked for me, that it was, you know, this person's just a person. They're not this 50-year-old individual, right? Yeah. They're just a person, right? And that was really cool when that clicked.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I'm excited for, is like, because I've always gotten along with, I mean, my friends' parents.
Dude, I remember. I remember when you worked at the ice cream parlor. Aaron, I think he was your manager, owner, operator of our little town.
Aaron's well. He shouts out. He listens to some of these, actually.
Does he? Well, I remember, and I personally don't think I've ever had the opportunity to meet him or whatever it is, but I remember Mom and Dad. They would always go in, and one time, Aaron came up to Mom and Dad and said, "What did he say?" You know, Alec, he beats to his own drum, but I will tell you that older people, they just love him. They love when he takes care of them, right? Yeah. Because he just, I don't know, he just can relate to them so well, and I think that's always stuck with me. That's pretty cool, and you do have a talent for that, man.
That's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, and which is kind of
it's cool that somebody who's older than I, right?
Yeah,
you know, realizes that, right? And so, Maybe it's just the art of conversation or whatever it is.
Just an old soul, Patch.
Old soul. You know.
I've just been through so. I don't know if you heard, but I went to juvie. It was a whole thing.
Oh, did you?
It was a whole thing back in the day.
Tell me about that.
No, we had a whole episode like that. But so that's what I'm excited for. But as a 27-year-old, well, what do you get excited for, Patch?
What do I get excited for?
Yeah.
What a question, man!
Yeah.
I don't think I've been asked that question.
That's what I'm saying.
In a very long time.
I think you like knowing you like being like daddy, the older kind of soul as well, which is nothing to be ashamed of or anything. Again, I like, obviously, but so you do have to realize you're 27, you still got a whole life. Like, what are you, looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to? Man,
right, especially, on like a smaller scale within a year, maybe like 5 years. And then on, the grander scale. The richer scale.
The richer scale,
perhaps.
Rather, see?
Yeah.
All right, you alligator. What I'll tell you, what I think I'm most excited for, and this is just... that's a great question. I think what I'm most excited for is my personal growth, right?
Yeah.
And watching it, right? Because I'll tell you,
you've been on this journey.
Yeah, I have been on a journey, and you could
journey.
think of it however you want to, but...
An adventure.
It is an adventure, Borlan, but it's pretty interesting and it's pretty unique to, watch yourself grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And think back. And it's really cool to be able to hang out with you, who is, what are you, 21? I'm turning 28, so 7 years younger than me. It's really cool to watch you come into your own, right?
Right.
And so while I know I am very goal-oriented, I have a financial goal, I have a professional goal, what I want to do. I have all of these goals set, fitness, health, whatever it is. I have all of these goals set. But it's really not about, at the end of the day, and I think that the kind of pages turned again for me.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's not about the end result. It's not about the goal.
Of course,
But it's about the process along the way.
Life's a marathon, not a sprint, sir.
It is, right? And if you can realize that early, and if you can live by that every single day, kudos to you, right? Because,
easier said than done.
It is way easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
So I think the thing that I'm most excited for is to enjoy my life, right? And that it sounds kind of a cop-out and whatever it is, but to watch it unfold, right? Because I've done the legwork, man. I work my ass off, right?
Yeah.
I've come to places that I don't want to come to for my job, right? So that's going to come regardless, right? You have to stay centered,
right?
And you have to enjoy the process along the way. And so I think in life, because in these last few months, I've kind of come to that conclusion that it is about growth, and it is about, and that's just what makes you happy,
right?
And that's what I'm most excited for.
Dude.
Maybe about where I'm at in life right now.
No, that's cool, man. That's broad. That's not like something very, that's not something that you have to wait around for. You know what I mean? That's just every day.
Happiness, you don't have to wait around for.
You don't have to wait. Yeah,
you don't, man. Happiness is internal. It is a state of mind.
Right. Carolina, dude. Going to Carolina in my mind, man.
That's a great song.
It is. It's a rich song. But so I've been reading this philosopher Alan Watts, and he talks about there has to be 50% pain, 50% pleasure. We are energy of the world. Mm-hmm. We emit energy through our bodies, and with energy becomes energy wavelengths, right? So there's a crescent, and the other word for the other one. It's
inverse. The inverse to the crescent.
The inverse to the exactly, and that's saying it the smart way.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
When you still don't know,
and
it's the thing that he says that a lot of people need, that what would help them enjoy life better is kind of, it is like a fear in a way, the pain that comes with life.
Yeah.
But the people that realize on the grander scale is that, like, you're not afraid of the fear. Not being afraid of the fear is a big part to, like, being that, going through that personal growth journey and accepting.
Right. So so when you say fear is a friend who's misunderstood. Not to take the words away from John Mayer, but fear is a friend who's misunderstood. Because if you don't have that, if you don't have fear, then, if you don't run toward fear, it's the unknown, right? It's the unknown that people fear.
Right.
Or, one of my fears is fucking Scream ever since I was in school. But
snakes, dude?
Snake? I don't like snakes. I don't like spiders.
Yeah.
You remember that. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
But we don't have to tell that story.
Yeah, well,
but I don't like
fuck
snakes.
spiders, though. That's the whole...
Fuck spiders.
Yeah.
They get me. But really in life, man, I think it's the unknown that scares people. At least it scares the hell out of me. I can't speak for everybody, right?
Yeah,
so
but
it's
that's
the
what I'm
unknown
saying.
that scares the hell out of me.
It's not being afraid of that. It's of that scared.
Well, you have to run into that fear.
Yeah.
You have to run into that unknown.
Right.
Because that's where growth happens, man. That's exactly where growth happens internally, externally, for whatever you want to achieve in life. Fucking run after it.
Right.
It's scary as shit. It is scary as shit. But that doesn't mean it's bad, and that doesn't mean it's not going to work out.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I just, when you talk about, it's good to have people around you, especially like you or like somebody that really kind of gets you. And somebody
you get me?
Well, you get me, you know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah, and I think we get. I think we got each other. We got each other. Yeah, dude, dab me up, bro. Come on. No,
Too much.
Too much. Yeah. But somebody that's on kind of a different wavelength than you, where it's like you're still relatable and you still get each other. But say like you're in a low, when they're in a high, it's really great to hang out with somebody in a high because. It's just like...
Everybody wants to be high.
Everybody wants to be high. You know what I mean? You at least get like a vision of it. You know what I mean? From there's like... you're like at a glass door, just like at a window, putting your hand up to it and just see them over there. And they're like, come
It'll
on.
be okay.
Yeah, they're like trying to come.
Yeah, that's rich.
Yeah, and then it works the same way as like when they're in a low. You get to be like, dude, like, yeah, you get to be the helper in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. But life, man, for everybody. Me, I like to think of myself as an optimistic person. I don't think I've ever been struck with depression. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been struck with depression, right? I've been some super low lows, and but I've never,
That's what I envy about your generation, man. I think your generation is the last one that didn't, like, get it ingrained in their
because there's people
society.
who have been depressed, man, and I know. I mean, I've had in-depth conversations with individuals that, man, they are depressed, right? And I wouldn't consider myself, maybe I've never experienced it to the extent somebody else has, right? And so maybe I'm not the best person to talk about depression, but what I can say is that even somebody who doesn't consider themselves as a depressed person or ever experienced depression, there's fucking lows, right?
Yeah.
Life is just all about peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. It's all about up and downs, right? You're always going to have that, right? Yeah. You can't be on cloud nine all the time.
Like I said, it's 50% pain, 50% pleasure.
It's exactly right, man. Yeah. So the highs, so when you are in a low, you have to realize and you have to really center yourself.
Yeah, that's what...
You have to.
I listened to this podcast with Jonah Hill, and he was just talking about, like... It was funny how matter-of-factly and quickly he crossed over it, but he was just talking about, like, being in a low, and he's like, and when you're in that place, talk to friends, talk to therapists, get help, kind of be in the moment kind of thing. And then he like, said that as kind of like a joke, and they're like, yeah, obviously, right. And then he, like, moved on, and he's like, but yeah, so I was going through that. So it was, like, a real quick, like, snippet that it was kind of just a matter-of-fact thing for him, and I envy that, dude. Like, I envy that it was that easy for him to just, like, skim over it, man. Like, and I think that's all the energy you want to be able to give to that low and that negative area.
Yeah, because why?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be down there anyway.
Well,
There's no
why is because, like you said, that's where you learn a lot. That's where you learn a lot of things,
I think there's a lot of self-reflect in that. I think there's a lot of there is a lot of growth that happens, right?
But the thing is to not just like think about it, to not dwell on it, really.
Yeah, you can't live in it.
Right.
You can't fucking live in it.
That's something about, I don't know about your personality type, but like, I took like a Myers-Briggs thing back in the day, and it was like talking about how somebody of my personality type was like, and I think it really does apply to most people, is that a lot of people get stuck in their memories. Just in general. It's like,
oh yeah.
And if you think about it especially, like I said, thinking back on lows, it's easy to get lost in that. it's easy to get lost in that. But you just gotta, like I said, just kind of disassociate, talk to friends, meditate is what I try to do, or get lost in movies or something you love.
The thing that always works for me, man, is focusing on personal development, growth. I mean, growth is one of those most important things in life. If you look at you, man, you have 1, 2, 3 books just around that you pick up and read, and that. I don't think they're textbooks from college. They might be. No, I mean, whatever it is. I see also two books over there that you get up every morning and you write. You challenge yourself to write.
Right.
And that is internal personal growth and development. And that is when the lowest of the lows hit me. Mm-hmm. Man, I always put on a stock podcast. Or I always put on just like a Tony Robbins podcast.
Something to learn.
Something to learn and grow and focus my energy on something productive.
Right.
Because if you do that, the next day you wake up, man, and you're feeling like $1 million, right? Yeah. Because you have invested.
You envisioned that $1 million.
Well, you envisioned that $1 million, but you've also invested your time into making yourself a better person, a little bit better, a little bit smarter, whatever it is, and
that's human evolution.
It might be evolution, but I can tell you at the end of the day, that's what makes me feel whole, and that's what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, you need growth. Human individuals, human spirits, human people, they need to grow. They need to feel that growth.
And that's something that's great about this about this day and age. That's something we can focus on too.
100%. There is endless opportunity.
Endless opportunity, man. Yeah, and I don't know. I know that's what. Yeah. So just kind of bringing it all back together. Just in the future, looking if I go to New York and it's shit or whatever, or if you go back to your job or get promoted or whatever, and you don't.
No, I won't get promoted, and you will go to New York.
Yeah,
and you will be successful.
Yeah, I mean, probably for sure.
However you define success, it might be different.
Right. But that's the thing.
You will be successful.
That's what I'm saying. So in the future, if you plan on doing something and it's not as fulfilling as you hoped it would be, focus on personal growth. I think that's one of the things we can take away from this whole thing.
I would say so. At least it's helped for me. Right?
Yeah. Right. It
has helped for me.
That makes you happy. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's just something that I knew you were on. You're always on that kick, that personal growth kick, and you read a lot of these books, and that's why I had you on, man. It's just like something that I appreciate about you, and I wanted to a lot of the episodes that I do are to spread messages to people that do listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want people to learn and grow, or at least get like emotionally attached for like an hour or whatever it is, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And so I just want to I appreciate you coming out here and telling all these people your story and kind of what motivates you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and hope that some of these people can relate a little bit too. And
I hope so as well. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope to be on future ones.
Yeah, probably.
I hope to be on future ones. Maybe. Depending on how big this gets.
Yeah.
But
I'm a busy guy.
You are a busy guy. I'm a busy guy too. But it's been fun. It's been real.
But it hasn't been real fun.
But it has not been real fun. Now we're going to continue to drink a couple of more beers and get fat and sassy.
Oh, sure.
You are an alligator.
All right. Well, I don't know. Can you tell we're brothers? I think it's pretty obvious. We talk pretty similarly and have some similar life views. But I don't know. It was a fun time having him out here, and we did end up getting all fat and sassy afterwards. So it was good. It was fun. I want to thank him again for coming out. He is a busy guy with this new this whole general managing in Athens thing and going back and forth between here and Cincinnati. So that's something that that you don't always get to sit down and do what you want and even have a conversation with a family member if you don't have time. And for right now, I think me and a lot of other people that listen to this do have that time. So something you shouldn't take for granted, and something you should enjoy, having some free time on your hands, even if it doesn't always seem like a blessing, and sometimes it seems like a curse. It is really nice to have that free time to play around with. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Okay, bye. Steve Myden.
Steve Myden.
Mm-hmm.